Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar and for being here today, giving up a little bit of your time for Saturday morning. I know here in Queensland, we are raining and pouring at the moment. It is thunderstorming at the moment, so I don't know how it is in your part of the world. I know we've got people here from the US, from Canada and New Zealand, and of course, dotted all over Australia. So I thank you so much for being here with me today. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you all so you can have a look at what I'm going to do. Now, we'll go into this presentation mode. Can everyone see your screen and we can see everything? I'm going to say yes, that you can, because you can't talk. Sorry about that. And I appreciate that. Thank you for putting yourselves on mute and for also putting your videos off just during this little webinar. So a little bit about what this is. So welcome. This is Soul Sessions, and I am Kerry G, so I run Soul Sessions. Who exactly am I? Well, I've been running this business for about 5 years doing Akashic record readings. And I've been on this journey, spiritual journey, for about 2 decades or so, I would say. So I've gathered a whole lot of information from guinea pigging myself and testing myself in how vibration works, in how manifestation works, and how healing can actually work from a subconscious level. So I was very interested in doing all that, and hence why I went and studied about it. So what have I done and why have you come here and why are you choosing me, or if you choose me? These are the little reasons why. So I've got a master's in metaphysical sciences. Metaphysical sciences is all about the esoteric world and everything you can learn within the spiritual realm, the esoteric world. I've also got a diploma in clinical hypnotherapy, which plays really well in regards to the healing part. A diploma in counseling, and specifically spiritual counseling, so I can help find out what's going on third dimensionally, and we can go into the fifth dimension and understand what is going on in the functions and etc. in regards to that. Now, sorry, I just quickly go into, I haven't actually used Zoom before, I mean, in a webinar before. So I am just trying to figure out how to add people. So I might just leave it like that if that's okay, because then I can still add people that are coming in. Sorry about that. Yes, so I'm also a soul-based therapy practitioner, and I've got a postgrad in teaching. So I was teaching for about 15 years as well. A Bachelor of Communication Studies. I'm in a Reiki 1 and 2. I'm also a light language intuitive, and also a channeler, where I channel with your guides and angels and they pass on messages to you. All right, so a little bit about how this webinar is going to run. So I have a look. So we're going to be talking about the Divine Soul Blueprint, so we know who we are at that soul level. We're going to talk a little bit about the Divine Manifesting Blueprint, which is your own unique manifesting roadmap in how to manifest in the third dimensional. And we're going to talk a little bit about your soul realignment, and that's another Akashic record reading where we find out what blocks and restrictions are currently affecting you in this life that were created from past life choices. We're also going to talk about the soul pattern and belief reading reading. It's another reading that we do. There's a lot to do in this 6 months. And this is where the clinical hypnotherapy comes in, as well as the counseling. And when I talk about the clinical hypnotherapy, I'm talking about past life regressions, current life regressions, ancestral healing of your lineage. There's so many different tools in regards to this reading that it all plays into the Divine Soul Blueprint, your manifesting blueprint, and your soul realignment reading. So it's all intertwined, which is really beautiful. And then, of course, we'll talk about the 6-month journey within the soul program and how it can benefit you. All right, so let's go on with the Divine Soul Blueprint and discuss a little bit about what that is and why it is so important to understand who you are at soul level, because it helps play into how you manifest as well in every part of your life. So with the soul blueprint, yes, we talk about the soul gifts. So your main energy centers, they are. Each of us have our own unique soul gifts, which help us with regards to how we behave, and there's positives and there's a negative polarity in regards to these soul gifts, and they're really quite a key into how you manifest and how you take action in your life and how to shift from one vibrational to another, which is what it's all about, really. I mean, you are in a certain vibrational state and you aren't really happy of where you are right now. I'm sure in certain areas like finances, relationships, health, profession, whatever it is in your life, you're in this vibrational state. So with this kind of work, we transform you and move you and shift you into this vibrational state over here so you can start living the life that you actually want to create without those blocks and restrictions. So this is why a soul profile reading is really a key thing to knowing and understanding at who you are at soul level. We also look at what your soul vibration level is at. So there's fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional, there's sixth dimensional, there's all these different dimensions. And most of us are at that fifth dimensional level, which means that we understand that we are a spiritual being having a human experience. And this is, so I find out exactly where you are on that fifth dimension and what ways you need to take in steps to even elevating your spiritual experience as a human being, right? The other thing we talk about within this soul profile reading is your God spark. And it's very interesting. It's like this golden umbilical cord from the center of the heart here. And that is what connects us with divine, or connects us with God, or connects us with the universe, source, right? All the same energy where we receive vital life force energy. So we're able to have more of that energy to step into our vibrational state. And then we talk about these things called white lights, and they're basically multi-dimensional beings that uphold our intentions for us. So we actually have a lot of guidance around us, but we don't really know how to access them or get in contact with them. And this is where I help, because the channeling comes in, and your guides, your spirit guides, your white lights all give messages, and I'm always blurting out things in regards to messages they're trying to get to you as well. So it's all very amazing, magical stuff. Now, in saying this, I have been doing this work for the last 5 years and doing my own healing work, because everything that I do, I make sure that, is this true? Because I was a skeptic at the beginning, very much so. So I wanted to test myself and test these vibrational states and see if it actually works. And they definitely do work. I've had such huge transformations on so many levels. So yeah, this is why I'm like, right, it's time to share this. Let's just share these kind of secrets, right? That we've forgotten as soon as we're born. We know everything. Our subconscious knows absolutely everything. And this is why the clinical hypnotherapy plays a huge role, because it brings up the memory that our soul had lost when we were born. We can get into that later with our when we go into sessions and etc. But you can ask me those kind of questions. So let's go into our divine manifesting blueprint. Now, this is really a unique thing. This is from the seventh dimension. So we find out where you are seventh dimensionally with your unique divine manifesting blueprint. And there's certain concepts, and you're on a scale of this concept of where you are. Each of us are very different on where we are on that scale. And that's why sometimes you go to manifesting coaches, or you go and watch people that have been amazing with manifesting things in their life, but their way may not work for you because you have a totally different divine manifesting blueprint. So this is where the beauty of this reading comes into play, where we find out where you are seventh dimensionally, because that's where it comes from, and then also where you are third dimensionally, and we marry them up and we match them. So we course correct exactly where you are seventh dimensionally and third dimensionally, and we take actions, or you take actions. I help guide you with those actions into, so you're in alignment with that seventh dimension. And then that's where the manifesting comes into play. There are three main manifesting areas: health, sexuality, and money. These are our vital life force energies within the manifesting realm. So where you are for each of these is where we find out. Then we go even deeper into finding all areas of your analysis, of your profession, of your finances, of your romantic relationships, your family, your friendships, your health and wellness, even rest and relaxation. Everything plays a role where you are vibrationally, so that all has to come into alignment so you can start manifesting the way you are meant to manifest. Right, this brings me into the soul realignment, which is also a really important reading to have. With this, we find out what blocks and restrictions are currently affecting you from this life that were created from past lives. Actually, they're also created from present life issues as well and traumas, usually from childhood. You know, that's usually how it is for all of us, learning our big lessons from there. So with these blocks and restrictions, some of the things could be vows that were created. Just for example, a vow of chastity is one. And maybe in a past life, I've had this before with clients, they were a nun. So they vowed themselves to the church, to God, and they vowed that they would never have children. The thing is, that vow and that action that was taken within that life, they've sworn that they will not, and they will be a leader to God and to, the world, that basically they are now have this vow of chastity on their divine soul blueprint, which means that in this current life that they're having, can have difficulty with having children and even sexual experiences. Lots of difficulties around that. There's also vows of poverty where you can't quite create that money that you've always wanted. You are just enough or just below. So there's vows of poverty. There's so many different types of vows, and each of us, and it might not come up for your divine soul blueprint. We really don't know until we've actually had a reading to find out what blocks and restrictions are currently affecting you. There's also contracts, soulmate contracts, healing contracts, contracts of protection. There's bargains that were made that can actually go against who you are at soul level, but they're imprinted on your blueprint because of an action that you had taken in past life. There's also what we call negative spirit guides. It doesn't sound as scary as what it actually is, but we called upon a spirit guide to help us cope with a traumatic situation in our life. This is usually when we were younger, whether it's some kind of bullying at school, maybe our parents divorced, maybe there was some kind of sexual molestation, anything that is within the area that's going to traumatize us through our life. We call for help. Our higher self does, to help us cope with that situation. Now, the spirit guide actually upholds the program, which is an emotional program to help us cope. Right? So just say, for instance, the trauma. So there's program of trauma where you're so traumatized with that spirit guide is trying to protect you from that trauma in regards to, say, the sexual molestation. And then that way, then you've carried that over into adult life. So you are now still carrying that trauma around your sexuality, which therefore can create lots of issues in regards to relationships, even having children, or your sexual energy as well. So clearing all of those things is really important for you to gain more vital life force energy to move forward with your life. Okay, so I know it's pretty heavy stuff, but this is what this is. This is life transforming. This is not some weekend course. This is 6 months of intense healing, which I am by your side, holding your hand all the way, so you're not doing it on your own. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is the soul pattern and belief reading. I love these readings. This is where now we've got the information of your soul profile. We have the information from your soul realignment and cleared all those blocks and restrictions. Now let's get right down to the nitty gritty of the healing through the subconscious and through hypnotherapy sessions, and also other things like EFT, emotional freedom technique, counseling sessions, angel readings, chakra clearings. I do Reiki and even psychology sessions, because with one of my degrees, I studied psychology as well. So with this soul pattern and belief reading, we look at how many issues are to be addressed at this time. There's usually 1, 2, or even 3 issues. And then there are triggers connected to these issues. So you could have a trigger of abandonment. You could have a trigger of fear of failure, have a trigger of fear of success even, right? There's all a myriad of different types of triggers that we may not consciously even know, but deep in our subconscious, they're buried, and it's affecting how we take action into what we want to move forward with. All right, we look at when they were created. Was this trigger created from past life, or was it created down our ancestral lineage? Was it created down that line? And the beautiful thing is, with the sessions, we look at clearing these issues and triggers, and if it's an ancestral thing, we're actually clearing 7 generations back and 7 generations forward. So not only are we helping our ancestral lineage, we're helping our future, our children and our children's children as well, with these deep rooted triggers that were created from there. And a lot of the time it could be stuff like fear of death, and mentioned before, like triggers with abandonment issues, and there's just so many of them, but I don't want to get off too much of track of that. But once you've had your reading, you will see that, yeah, it's very much relatable, and nearly 100% of the time everyone resonates with exactly what that is, because this information comes from the fifth dimension. It comes from your soul. It comes from the Akashic records, which is the library of your soul's history. So that is where I come into play, because I'm the channeler or the conduit to be able to get this and retrieve this information with your permission, of course. And then the key is, once we've done the healing, you actually have responsibility and accountability to take action. And that is kind of the most scariest thing. Let me just quickly explain. With the third dimension, which is where our physical bodies are, this is where we take action into stepping into our truth and our authenticity and testing the playground that we live in, right? You can look at the world at any kind of way. It could be a battlefield, could be a playground, it could be a school, however you look at life in regards to that. So yes, so then we look at that third dimensionally, and that's where we make our choices. The fourth dimension is our mind, our consciousness, our ego, and all our thoughts. So when you're consciously talking to me about the issues that are going on, we can understand where that's coming from. Then fifth dimensional upwards are all the spiritual realms, and that is where all the healing is actually done, because subconsciously stuff, we push it right down and we've forgotten about it. So we may not even want to go there, but if you're here, then you're pretty much ready to heal, I would say, because you wouldn't have resonated with some of the posts I did, and this webinar wouldn't have resonated with you. And with the hypnotherapy, we do a lot of past life regressions, so we can find out who you've actually had lives with before that you're currently having a life with now. We'll do current life regressions, going right back into childhood. Again, that's stuff that we've pushed right down, and again, healing that ancestral lineage. All right, I have actually a quick little 1-minute video of some people who I've been working with the last couple of years and their transformations. So please, I would love you to have a little listen.
I chose her as my guide because of her authenticity, compassion, insights, and of course, her beautiful kindness. Throughout the program, I learned some of the biggest lessons about myself and my life path. It really shifted my perspective and helped me grow in ways I didn't anticipate.
I've been working with Kerry for about 2 years now. I signed up with her because she's so easy to talk to. She's very kind and caring, compassionate, wonderful person to talk to and work with. You can trust yourself with her. You can feel safe. She'll hold that space for you while she works with you. I was having a number of issues personally and professionally in my life, and I think the knowledge and understanding that I've gained within myself of what was causing issues for me has been profound.
After the sessions with Kerry, I learned so much about myself and my capabilities. I learned how to change my thought perspective to help me heal and to grow as a person. I loved the whole process, even though some of it was hard to digest at the time. Seeing the results made it all worth it.
Amazing. Thank you, Shani, Scott, and Claire, for those testimonials. It was very brave of them. As you can imagine, it would be very brave putting yourself on video and speaking to a whole bunch of strangers. So yes, that's a little bit of example of seeing other people's transformations there in how it's shifted their lives forever. Now, this is a little bonus that I had a meditation yesterday, and I was like, okay, let's start this bonus program. So even though this journey is the 6-month journey, I've actually included a bonus 3 months, because I've noticed with the 12-month program, it was just a little bit too long. And with the 6-month program, it's like, well, it's good. Like, you're still getting transformations, but imagine if we had that extra 3 months of bonus for us to do even more healing. So this is actually a 9-month program that I would love to work with you one-on-one with me. It is intense healing, but it is very gentle healing as well. And I am there by your side, holding your hand the whole way through with any questions you have. Now, what you get in the 9-month journey within the soul program, you get an unlimited amount of soul pattern and belief readings for 9 months, for the duration of your contract of 9 months. You get a soul realignment and a soul profile reading. You get the manifesting blueprint readings, which are 4 types of readings, which are so the 7th dimensional one, the 3rd dimensional one, the 3 vital life force energies of money, sex, and health, and also the 4th of all areas of your life of where you are vibrationally to be able to manifest correctly. And we course correct in regards to finding out. You ask me questions and we course correct to find out if that action, if you took this action towards this direction, is that going to actually help move you onto your 7th dimensional alignment? So it's really intense work. You also get your personal manifesting blueprint. That we just talked about that. You also get weekly meditations. Meditations are a really important part to your journey, and I send you those every single day for 9 months. But I send them in a weekly session, so you have a whole list and a whole library of your own meditations. They are from YouTube, just so you know, but they're from my personal list. They are vetted and they work. So this is what I've used in the last 2 decades or so with the meditations, and they work. The other thing is we get weekly spiritual counseling sessions with me as well, and the weekly healings, of course. You also are involved in the full moon ceremonies that I run every single month, where we do a full moon meditation. We learn a little bit about that full moon. We also do a ritual around that full moon, and we listen to an expert in their field. So in the past couple of years, I've had psychics come on and they give us a little reading, a little personal reading. I've had kinesiologists, I've had numerologists, I've had astrologists, I've had sound breath healers. There's so many different types of experts out there that it's a really good opportunity to open up and learn about all the other metaphysical topics that are out there. And then you can choose whether or not you want to go down that path or do some more training with them. But we all get a little bit and a little hot tip or a little bit of healing whenever from this expert, which is amazing. You also get a 1-year astrology reading, either for your personal or if you have a business, for your business. And this is a really amazing reading. I've been working with her for the last couple of years. So she's a third party. I don't do the astrology reading, but she is an expert in her field. And she actually is also an intuitive. So she has guides coming through giving you messages as well. So it's kind of like a mini psychic astrology reading, which is awesome. There's also so many other bonuses. These are just some of the things you get within the 9-month program. But yeah, when you book in with me for a concept call, which I would love for you to do, actually, I want to just write into I will do that in a moment. I will write into the chat. Oh, here we go. The Calendly I'll just put it to everyone in the meeting. Then in the chats, you have a little link there. And if you want to click onto that, you can book in a little 15-minute free concept call with me just to understand more about it if you're not too sure if this is really in alignment with you. This is the amazing thing that also at the end of our 9 months, you get a luxury retreat. And this is an all-inclusive weekend luxury retreat. So from Friday lunchtime to Sunday lunchtime. It doesn't include flights, I'm sorry, but it will include transfer pickups from the Sunshine Coast Airport to our accommodation. It's 5-star accommodation within the Sunshine Coast hinterlands with your own bedrooms, all meals and snacks. So 2 breakfasts, 3 lunches, 2 dinners, and all the snacks in between. Drinks, of course, non-alcoholic, because this is a spiritual retreat. We all get massages each. We do a cacao ceremony, a sound bowl healing. We do yoga. You also get a psychic reading as a bonus and breath work sessions as well. And whatever else that I can try and fit in with our weekend, and you can choose whether or not you want to be involved in that little session or not. It's up to you, because this is a luxury retreat where you can do whatever you like with your time. So that is the extra bonus that I wanted to bring in. And also connecting with our tribe, right? This is about finding your tribe, finding people that resonate with you, because I know it's been really difficult this last couple of years of really trying to find those like-minded people. And it's just so nice that you can talk so freely and openly about spiritual stuff and everything else without being judged or without being questioned, etc., because it's a safe place. Yeah. All right. Just to reiterate a couple more testimonials here. We've got Martha from Los Angeles, Stephanie from Sweden, Tran from Australia and Melbourne, and Georgia from Auckland, New Zealand. So I do a lot of these things from all over the world, and we are all humans. There was nothing different about us except our experiences, of course, our divine soul blueprint and our manifesting blueprint. But we are still living this life the way that we know best how. And when you have had those healings, you can actually course correct yourself onto the right path without those triggers. And it's really amazing how when you start healing, everyone who is around you automatically starts healing as well, because you are the one that has started the healing. It's really quite magical stuff with this healing process. Okay, so that's it. So book in a free 15-minute call with me if you would like to know more about this. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining me on this Saturday morning. I appreciate you giving up your time for me. And I hope to hear from you soon. And that's the end of the webinar. I send you all infinite love and blessings, and I hope to see you soon. Bye, everyone.